And God said, let there be light.
And let there be light.
And I think that's where we should start. So welcome back, Sunday Society.
Hello, hello.
We are recording live from location
1012 Maine.
We
want to give a shout out to them because we appreciate the space, as well as soon as 7 a.m. hits, I'm going to get me some coffee.
Yes, definitely.
So you probably will see a coffee at some point in here.
Yes, because it's early.
Yes.
I was going to say on the way here, it hit me that I have not had to get up and get dressed before, in the morning for anything in such a long time because I work from home. So I was like, oh my gosh, I feel accomplished. I feel like I've done something with my life. Like I could go home and be done for the day. This is more than I've done with myself in the mornings in a long time. So I'm happy that it's here with you. It's been so long.
It has. I'm trying to think. Our last episode aired at the end of May, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so we've been, we would have recorded that probably a week or two prior. So it's been over a month since we recorded. And while we needed the time away because we were so busy, I've missed it.
Bianca. I have too. I've missed it too. And I am still trying to get my microphone where I want it to be. So I think this is right. I just want to make sure that I am heard. I want my voice heard. Okay. So with the new video recording, things are just going to look a little different probably with the audio. But grab your coffee and we will soon get comfy and let's take back Sunday.
So Bianca.
Yes.
I've got a question for you.
Okay, you beat me to it because I was going to ask you a question too.
So a lot of people in the winter complain about the cold and talk about how they would like it to be warm. They said, I will take the heat over the cold anytime.
Bianca doesn't say that.
It is, index is 106, 110 this week.
Yeah.
So what is your thought?
My thoughts is I always want it to be cold. I never say, I wish it were summer. I never say that.
Listen, I can put on clothes. I can only take off so much that's appropriate.
Before it's a crime, right?
Yeah.
That's exactly how I feel. I keep my air conditioner on almost year round because I just don't get cold like normal people do, I guess. Maybe that's something wrong with my blood.
Well,
Maybe
my air conditioner is struggling to keep up right now with the heat, and it's hot, and I'm like,
Yeah, I hate it. When you're sitting on your own, in your own house, on your own furniture, sweating, that's not the vibe.
Yeah.
That is not how I want to live my life. So Bianca never wants it to be summer. I mean, I enjoy the summer because it's kind of got that vibe of freedom and relaxing, but then you have also with that the scorching heat, which fortunately today, I mean, you guys can't see, but it is kind of rainy.
Yeah.
But I imagine the humidity will kick right back up and it will be miserable.
I mean, if I could be in the pool 24/7, I'd be fine.
Yes, that's the only time. Yep, that's the only time I want it to be summer is when I can just be immersed in cold water.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what about you? Are you?
Yeah, no.
We want the winter. We want the fall.
Yeah.
Bonfire season.
I can't do it. I love the fall. I don't like that the days are shorter.
Yeah, and I do hate
it gets so dark so early. I don't like that. But other than that, that's my only complaint. I love the colors. I love the smells. I love the food. I love the holidays. I love it all. Everything about fall.
Yeah, I choose sweater weather over sweaty weather.
I like it.
Time. So on the radio, I have been hearing, for some reason, I'm always listening to the radio at the same time every day at 5. And they have an ethical question that they ask for the audience. And the one that I was really most intrigued by was, do you have the right to tell other people what they can and cannot post on social media? So for example, if you and I were going to go hang out somewhere, and you'll hear traffic in the background because we are video recording in a live place and not in the basement where there's no noise. So enjoy that, you guys. So for example, if you and I are hanging out and you tell, like, I'm at your house and you're like, okay, don't post pictures of this because you don't want any like drama to start somewhere else. Like maybe somebody wasn't invited to a party. Do you have the right to tell someone else what they can and can't post on their own social media page?
So I don't think that you can tell people in general what they can and cannot post, but I think if you have people at an event and you're asking for, for whatever reason, like respect my privacy, don't post this. I think that's perfectly fine.
It was very split on the radio because there was that, but it wasn't like, so the reasoning wasn't to like maintain privacy. It was to avoid drama because somebody wasn't invited to something.
Yeah. I mean, I could see where people would be like, hey, please, please just don't post that. Or if you post things, don't post like tag me or whatever. I don't see what's wrong with it.
Yeah, so that was half of, the other half was like, this is my social media page. This is my profile. These are my pictures. I can do what I want,
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of a selfish point of view because it's like,
I do too, but I feel like that's every
the vibe.
Yeah. People don't care. People are all about thinking about themselves. So.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I think that if somebody asks you in a respectful way and has like a logical, practical reason, you should respect what they're asking you to do.
And if not, like, then don't invite them again.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
then
they're not your people.
Exactly. You know that that's not the kind of personality you want around.
And if you like, this is kind of off topic, but like if you are posting me in an event and I have a horrible picture, please just don't post
Oh my
it.
gosh. That hot take right there. If you take a picture of me anywhere, verify with me before you post that because angles mean everything. And I know that you weren't worried about me when you were taking that picture.
There's been a lot of pictures that have been uploaded at things and I'm like, oh my gosh.
I'm like, who let me out of the house looking like this? Like right now, like my forehead looks huge. Like who let me out of the house looking like this?
Your forehead does not look huge.
Yeah, that was one of the questions. I feel like there were more, but I don't know if I wrote any of the other ones down. So future like goal for us is to have little cue cards so we don't have to stare at our phones the whole time. But for now, all of our notes are like on a Google Doc or on my notes, like my personal notes in my phone.
So I heard this last week. There was like 3 different things that I heard this on, and I grabbed a snapshot of it. A hot dog is technically a type of taco.
What?
Yeah, I think it's the shape.
Oh, maybe because it's meat like in a vertical, a horizontal.
No.
Horizon.
Yeah.
A horizontal bun? That seems like blasphemy.
I know. I was like, I feel like it's more of a sandwich than a taco. But I don't know.
I've literally never thought about it. I've never even thought like, I wonder if this is considered a sandwich or a taco. First of all, taco never would have been one of the things that I would have thought a hot dog on a bun would be.
It's crazy.
That is an interesting take, I have to say.
You ready for the next one?
Yeah, I guess.
Ravioli is just wet Pop-Tart soup.
Ew.
Yeah. I was like,
ew.
I have never in my life ever heard of that. And then spaghetti is a terrible pasta shape. I know you love spaghetti.
I love spaghetti.
But I think it's the idea that like nothing can attach to it. And it's just like.
Just a noodle hanging out in the bowl.
Yeah. It needs a shape to like help hold stuff.
I'm still stuck on this Pop-Tart soup thing. Like we can't move on yet. So it's like a meat Pop-Tart.
Soup.
That's disgusting.
I know.
I don't know. I'll never look at them the same.
It's so weird.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I like knowing all this information. I think that I just want my raviolis to be raviolis, and I want my hot dog to just be a hot dog.
Right.
And spaghetti, leave
like
spaghetti
all
alone.
This is like
there's more.
Oh yeah, but they're like, Dairy Queen is just the Walmart version of Sonic.
I feel like Dairy Queen is the Target version of Sonic.
I feel like Sonic is the Walmart version.
Yes, they got that one all the way backwards.
I know. I was like, where are these people from?
Not anywhere where the Dairy Queen is good.
Another thing is a big popular one is Apple Music is better than Spotify. And I don't have Apple Music, so I have no idea.
I have both, and I don't know that that's true. So I have Spotify and Apple Music, and I actually find that Spotify seems to have like a more, and I don't even listen to Spotify like that, but they have this thing called the day list, and my coworkers showed it to me. So like right now my day list is heartache, rom-com, early morning, because it like changes up.
It knows you so well. Spotify's trying to be your best friend.
I know. It's trying to sneak in, slide into my DMs, like, hey, bestie. But yeah, and like I'm looking at these songs. She Is Love, Marry Me by Train, Sam Smith, Leave Your Lover, Jason Mraz, 93 Million Miles. Like, yes, all of these are my vibe.
Yes, so I think it's like an algorithm
from
like your played music.
Yep.
And mine, I have like all kinds of different ones. So I have the daily mix. It'll like put up like different genres of like my mix on there.
I think Spotify is better.
Well, I think it is because I don't have Apple Music. So.
Yeah, the only like made for me. So in Apple, they have like made for me playlists, and one of them is a chill mix. And I listen to them, and it's like songs I've never listened to before. It's just chill music that they think I'll like, I guess. My favorites mix, which gets updated every week.
But so whatever you listen to a lot of.
Yeah, within the week. But the day list refreshes like every 6 hours. So it's like a new variety every 6 hours. And I really like that. And then like a heavy rotation mix, which I just found, which does update, I think, every day. Right now, it's it's Whitney Houston, Billy Joel, the Lumineers, and Billie Eilish. That's it. So I think personally, even as an Apple user, I think that Spotify gives you more variety, even though I don't really use it as much, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to listen to this day list before it expires because I love me some rom-com.
Okay, so would you rather have no social media or no streaming services? Like Netflix, Hulu.
I would rather have no social media.
Same.
Give me my shows. Give me my shows. Speaking of shows, I recently got on Apple TV and there's a show called, oh my gosh, what's it called? Presumed Innocent?
Yeah.
Maybe? Is that what it's called?
I think that is what it's called because you talked to me about it.
Yes, it is. Today's Wednesday? New episode comes out today, baby. I get to watch it, do it because it's the streaming services have the audacity to make you wait a week for these like new shows. I'm like, listen, I don't pay this much money a month to wait. Okay, that's so 1990s, right? But Criminal Minds is like that. The new Criminal Minds on Paramount, which if you haven't watched that and you like Criminal Minds, I highly recommend watching that because it's really good. It's on Paramount. What else am I watching that's new? Oh, House of the Dragon makes you wait every week. That's on HBO. And let me clarify. I only pay for one of those streaming services. I live in a barter system where I am trading services, streaming services. What about you? Oh, you said streaming services too. Yeah. Get rid of social media. It really is the devil.
Would you rather live forever or teleport while you're alive?
Teleport while I'm alive. I don't want to live forever. And unless like no. Not even if my body never aged.
No,
how boring is that?
I wouldn't want to live forever because you would like
you'd
be
see everyone else
people.
die.
Yeah,
like your whole life. Isn't there a movie like that called Adeline, where she like, I don't know, it's like the Fountain of Youth thing where she like drinks the water or gets electrocuted or something.
And I think it has Dennis Quaid in it.
Maybe, but I know Blake Lively is.
Yes, he was like in love with her when she was young, and then he's she comes home with the son, and he's the dad. Yes,
exactly.
Sorry if we spoiled anything. Okay. Would you rather climb a difficult mountain or run a marathon?
Oof. How many miles up is the mountain?
Don't know. Just difficult.
I would probably do the marathon. I wanted to say mountain, but if it's a difficult mountain, I'm not trying to die.
So I'm going to say mountain because I don't have to run. Like I can take my time up this difficult
And that's what I was going to say too. But I'm like, if it's difficult, like, am I going to like misstep and die? Because I don't want to do that. I'd rather
I don't think it's rock climbing. I think it's like
a hike.
Yeah. But I thought maybe you would say run a marathon since, we did not, that easy hike we
was
did
not enjoyable. It was
in the
not
mountains
enjoyable.
was rough.
No, I
We
did
took
not.
so many random pictures
Yes, a lot of pauses for the photos.
just so that we could breathe and people weren't like seeing us like.
There were still times when people still saw us like that because your girl was exhausted.
Yeah.
And then coming back down, I was like, yeah.
I've seen on like TikTok and Instagram where it's like nobody, and then it's white people hiking, and they're like, God. It's just, hey,
I just
hi. And I was like, that happens so much. We said hello to so many people. They said hello to us.
And then like on the way back down, you're like, almost there. You're almost there. Like, you got this.
And then like towards the end, I was like, good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
You were not even close.
Yeah, when we got to the bottom, we were like, sucks to suck, bro. You got tricked too.
Yeah.
Because those pictures, we've talked about this before. We don't need to do it again, but they lied.
Yes.
The lies they tell.
The reviews lied. The pictures lied.
Easy hike, mile rear.
Yeah.
You got any more would you rathers?
I was looking. Would you rather never be able to have soup or never be able to have smoothies?
Smoothies.
Yeah, I was going to say I don't have smoothies a lot.
No, me either, but I love me some freaking soup.
I mean, I'm not a huge soup person, but the ones that I do like, they're
especially
on my
when
forever.
It's cold. Yeah, I love a good chicken noodle. An Italian wedding. Those are my favorite soups. And my mom's vegetable soup.
Yeah. Speaking of smoothies, 2 Chainz and Smoothie King has partnered up to open a kiosk for smoothies, which I think is really cool.
Fun.
You don't have to like wait for a line or whatever. Like you can just be out on the street and be like, oh, there's a kiosk. I feel like having a smoothie today. I just thought it was cool. And the fact that 2 Chainz, like, I thought that was funny that they partnered with him.
Maybe I'll get more smoothies if we had a kiosk where I could just walk on the street.
Yeah.
Like
we don't really have a smoothie place.
We don't have a smoothie. We don't have anything. No.
Okay, yeah, we don't have smoothies.
We don't do smoothies in this town. We don't do health foods actually at all. So just kidding. So something that last month that we were going to talk about, we had so many things, was my dad's hot take on student loans. Okay. And I wanted to talk about that because I think it is relevant because so many people have student loans. His hot take is that student loans should be prorated to match I guess let me rephrase. Colleges should cost the same or like be prorated based on the salary that you will make in the profession that you want to pursue with that degree. So for example, a doctor who's going to make easily 6 figures within like the first 5 years of their career, their classes and loans should be more than someone who is getting a degree to be a teacher who will make maybe $50,000 by their 20th year sometimes.
Yeah.
So that's the hot take, is that there shouldn't be like a one size fits all for these classes because the outcome from the careers that you have with these classes are not going to be equal whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And like, I'm sitting on 6 figures of student loans that is going with me to my grave. That is, those loans are Joe Biden's now. That is between you and Joe Biden and God, where those loans belong.
I always think like, well, whatever doesn't get paid off, it just dies with me. There's no one else assumes that,
Thank God, because I would feel so guilty if that became like, other debt where your next of kin has to take over payments and stuff. I'd be like, oh, so sorry. And I think the biggest scam out of all of this is Parent Plus loans, because those are loans that your parents are taking out. And when I was 18 in 2008, they did not explain that properly. They just are like, hey, if your dad signs on this, you can get so much more money for college. And so now they don't tell you that your dad is going to have to repay it later and that it's going to go based off of his salary. So my dad makes quite a bit more money than I make. So he does not qualify for like the income based for those Parent Plus loans. But since they're my loans for my classes, I have to pay him for them. And it's double easily what I pay for my own personal loans. And it's hard. That I think is the biggest scam are Parent Plus loans. If I could give advice to anybody that is considering taking out loans for college, do not get a Parent Plus loan because they are impossible to pay back. And the laws around, like, I can't consolidate it with my loans. They won't let you take over the payment. Like, they won't let you transfer it to the actual student.
Yeah.
The parent that took it out has to keep it. Whereas, like, when I take different loans out at different times, by the end of it, I think I had like 20 separate loans that I can consolidate into one
Yeah,
to have
no,
like
that
one
makes
interest
sense.
rate, one payment, which is what I did. But it's like, I want to take on the payments from my dad. Like, you're still going to get your money. I don't understand. It's just very
Yeah.
frustrating. So that's kind of where I
Well,
stand on that.
so I did a private loan out of high school because I did like kind of like a technical school. I went to
Yeah.
massage therapy school. And what I didn't know is that the loan, and I think my dad was just trying to be helpful and co-sign for
Yeah.
me because
Yeah.
I couldn't get it on my own. I was right out of high
Right.
school.
18, 19 years old.
The loan interest rate can change.
Oh, yeah. Those are a scam
So
too.
like
That's a joke.
$10,000, started out at this percentage. I think it's up to 14.5%.
Jeez Louise.
And girl, I am so like, I know I could just pay it off and be done, but I'm so irritated about the whole thing that I'm like, nope, you get in the minimum payment every month.
Forever.
Yep.
Forever.
Which is stupid because I pay more in the end, but it's just so frustrating.
That is a joke.
Me.
That is a joke. Why are they not set like mortgages? Like, why can't the loan where it doesn't accrue? I was trying to make up a new word. Where it doesn't accrue interest every month. That it's like a credit card that has a 6-figure debt on it. That the interest on that is more each month than what I pay.
Yeah.
It's criminal. It's criminal. If they could do anything, because everyone's like, you took out the loans, irritates me to no end, because it's like, we were scammed. We were given minimal information on the long-term effects of these decisions.
Well, and it's nearly impossible. I mean, if go to the community college if you can, get your A+ stuff, get it for free, whatever. But it's nearly impossible to pay for school, especially on your own as a college student
without
taking a loan.
Yeah. And 90% of jobs require at least a bachelor's degree.
Well, yeah.
Like, at least in the corporate world, or like education, or your,
I'm all about like vo-tech and
trades,
trades and everything. So, because there's a lot of push to go to college, and there's a lot of openings for those types of jobs.
Yeah.
Electricians, plumbers, construction, iron workers, all of that stuff, it matters.
Yeah. Those, the infrastructure.
The line workers, yeah.
I saw a funny post that it said, stop trying to start your rap career. We need plumbers. I was like,
I love it.
It's funny. I'm like, dang it. I guess I'll stop. But yeah, I think, because circling back, like, people really get in their feelings about, like, you took the loans out. I'm like, whatever. Like, you just don't get it, but it's fine. I'll let you live in that ignorance.
Well, and I get that. But at the same time, I feel like you're, kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't, you're told like you're not going to amount to anything and not get a decent job if you don't have a college education.
And I do think that narrative has shifted a little bit.
I sure hope so.
At least from my experience in the teaching 8th graders, they really were pushing, like, we would take the field trip to the equivalent of the vo-tech for them, which I think it's the CTC, the Career for Technical, or Center for Technical Careers, and like would tour and do things. And I think they really do encourage them. And I know they do that. Corbin took a field trip to the vo-tech.
Yeah. And I like that. We've talked about this. I feel like in high school, so in middle school, I felt like our school counselor really did deal with like friend group arguments and kids that might've been struggling at, having a hard day at home and then come to school. But then in high school, all I remember from our school counselor was them talking about college and what we needed to do and what do you want to do for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
And that's all I really remember.
Yeah. They planned college visits. Like, people would come in, all of that.
Yeah. So anyway,
which college is a great option if you have a career that requires it. My only request, government, God, whoever is in charge of this, is to make those interest rates a set thing, like you do with like any other kind of loan that you take out.
I agree.
That doesn't,
with your dad.
it just doesn't make sense.
I agree with your dad. It should be prorated to what
you're going to make. Yeah. And then if you change your career, what happens if you change your career? Like I did. I don't use my degree at all.
Yeah, but like
I'm not making like triple what I would have made.
Yeah, no. Like you're not gonna change your career and go from 50,000. Well, I mean, you could. I'm not saying you can't, but like to making like 250,000.
Yeah, no, that's accurate.
Yeah. So speaking of, we need more plumbers and not rappers, and he's not really a rapper, but did you see that Howard University revoked Sean Combs' honorary degree and returned a $1 million gift?
No, I did not see that. Good for Howard University.
Right?
Oh my gosh.
And I'm just going to let you guys know my hot takes, my hot topics, whatever you want to call them, have a lot to do with people like Sean Diddy Combs today.
There's too many of them.
It's crazy right now.
There's too many.
So,
is it coffee time though before we dig into any of these?
I
need some coffee.
But I am definitely I'm proud of Howard University.
I think
because they're like we don't want to be associated with people like that.
I don't you
I love it. We are back with our coffees.
All right, I haven't tasted mine yet. It soothes the soul. So yeah, 1012 Maine. They serve coffee in the mornings
and pastries that all look delicious. I said like no, Hannah, but they all look delicious.
Yeah, I definitely wanted one because I love a good cinnamon roll. Then I was like, how am I going to eat that up here to talk to you? So the first thing that is kind of ironic that we're going to talk about maybe is parents who use their kids to make money on social media, like they're underage children. So there's this TikTok account where the kid is like 3 or 4 years old. And that is the exclusive content on this page. And people are coming for her saying like, do you notice that when you post videos with your kid in like a bathing suit that your views go sky high and your saves go up and your comments go up? Yep. And it's like, I know that times are tough. You know, we talk about the grocery bill. Like it's disgusting how much groceries cost right now.
It's like going Christmas shopping.
It truly is. For necessities. So I get it that, you know, you want to make money, but at the cost of like your child's potential safety. Like in this world, this technological world where these horrific people can grab like screenshots and take these videos and manipulate them and do horrible things with them. Why would you want to risk that for your kid when she can't even claim ignorance because people are in the comments telling her this like, hey lady, you're crazy. Like your kid you're exploiting your child, your literal like toddler to make money.
Well, and I think we've seen like child stars and how that affects them.
Yeah.
And like how many bad relationships they have with their parents.
So many.
I feel like there's a fine line. You know? I feel like there's a fine line.
Like I think that if that's not like the sole purpose of your content and it just happens to be that sometimes your kid is in your videos with you, I don't think that I necessarily have any kind of problem with that. But when it's your adult account only showing videos of your child, like she's rarely in these videos. It's mostly just her kid. I don't like that.
Well, and where does that money go? And I feel
not
like
to the kid.
If you're making, well, it probably does, you know, it's supporting.
Well, food. Yeah. Yeah.
But I feel like if you're making money and with what your kid is doing, then at some point there should be something set up to where like there's like a CD or a savings account or something, a trust, some kind of thing that, you know, that money's going into for that child.
Exactly.
Because I would be so bummed if I like turned 18 and my parents were like, yeah, we made $20 million off of you. And, it's all spent.
Go take out some student loans to go to college. I would be livid. Yeah. So that's my hot take for the month. Maybe it's controversial. I don't have kids, but I feel like I'd like to know what you guys think. You know, do you think that it's okay for parents to exclusively have their page dedicated to their toddler doing different things. And it's like, I don't want to be too vulgar or too crass, but like there are certain videos where it's harmless stuff. The videos are harmless, but
There's
there
a
are
lot of
horrible
disgusting
people
people in this world.
that will look at it and pervert something that is innocent, like eating a popsicle.
But you could literally post that on your Instagram or your social media and they could do the same thing and you're not making money from it.
That's true. And I get that, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I hate that there are people like that in the world and that this is almost like victim blaming. Like the more I say it out loud, I'm like, why aren't we more outraged and trying to get the people that are doing it, which
I think we're just not trying to give them extra opportunities.
Yeah.
And
don't make it easy for them.
I saw where a guy like said, like, if you look at some of the people that are following you, they are not the type of people that would follow this kind of account. Yeah.
Like they're men. They're just grown men. We'll just call a spade a spade. So that's what it is. I think that sucks.
Well, it's a quick one that what I have next. It's Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis reunite on Freaky Friday, set as sequel starts filming. And I thought that was so cool because that was such a good movie when we were younger. And I know Lindsay, I kind of wanted to go into this because we've talked about the child stars and how they struggled, and Lindsay Lohan did.
Yes.
Sounds like she's in a good place.
Oh, she's in such a good place.
And I loved Freaky Friday, so I'm super excited to see this movie come out. There are so many like remakes or things coming out like with old movies, and I'm here for it.
I think Chad Michael Murray is in it too.
I love him.
Yeah, I think I saw that he signed on because I saw and I'm like, is this real or is this one of those like spoof things that you see on Facebook that it's like this isn't really coming out?
His version of Oops, I Did It Again in that movie is my favorite. It's like a Rocky kind of version. Yeah. My favorite version of that song ever. I was like, I need a band to cover it that way because he's not like the greatest singer, obviously. I need a band to cover it that way.
Sorry, Chad.
Because it was good. It was really good.
I don't know. I have to go back and listen to it. I guess I didn't pay much attention to that. But now, you're sparking these core memories in my brain of this movie. But yeah, Lindsay Lohan had like a really hard and fast fall into addiction and has really literally gotten her life back. Yeah. Like she's married. She's a mother now. She's like, she just exudes happiness and just health.
Well, and I think that it's good to see celebrities that have struggled with addiction and that they can come out of it. Yeah. I know that I watched a documentary on I feel guilty even saying this, a Raiders football player.
How dare
Let me tell you, if the Chiefs aren't playing, I will now root for the Raiders only because this guy is amazing and he's honest about his addiction and he inspires people. He has done amazing things and it started in college for him and he almost lost every opportunity he ever had and he turned his life around and he speaks to people all the time and tries to help addicts all the time. He's amazing.
Do you remember his name?
I don't for the life of me.
So I'm like, listen, you want to root for the Raiders and those are fighting words and Chiefs country.
I can find it real quick because I was like, oh, Raiders.
Ew, the Raiders.
I think his name is Darren Waller.
Oh, okay.
I'm almost positive. Anyway.
I don't know why I thought that maybe I'd know who it was. I have no idea who it is.
I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And the series, if you can find it, I don't even know. I think maybe it was on like even YouTube, I think had it. But it was really, his story is inspiring.
Well, we love an inspiration.
Yeah, we do. Good job, lady.
I know. I saw this lady power walking. Get it, girl.
That's what I should be doing. Except for we couldn't do it at the same time because you would not be able to tell what I was saying. Because I'd be like,
I thought you meant like us at the same time, and I'm like,
no,
because our sleep schedules are very different.
Podcasting at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
We never had the chance, I don't think, to talk about Baby Reindeer because I think we had too much to talk about.
Oh yes.
Everyone watching this or hearing this, whichever, has probably heard about Baby Reindeer. Yeah. If you have not watched it, Go watch it.
It's wild.
And I'm going to be honest, my honest opinion was there was an interview done after the series with Pierce Morgan and this lady, and he is a horrible human being.
Yeah, I can't stand Pierce Morgan.
And the fact that, like, I feel like we all know that this lady has mental health issues, and then he brought her on to, like,
He exploited it. He
yeah.
wanted views. He wanted to get his
I'm like,
hand
I
in the
didn't even
pot.
know you were still working, Pierce
Honestly.
Morgan.
Yeah, truly. Like, who even are you?
But anyway, it really comes down to a guy was nice to a lady at a bar that he was working at. She then started coming in all the time, and then she starts stalking him. I don't think he's innocent in it. And I don't think he thinks he's innocent in it.
Yeah, I think that the show was his, like, artistic way of dealing with what happened.
Yeah.
And maybe, in the same way that songwriters write music about the experiences that they've had.
Yeah, and he played in series.
That for me that had to be hard.
Yeah.
But maybe that was the thing.
I mean, some of the things that he describes, I mean, like, she, like, physically, sexually assaults him.
Yeah.
And the police are just like, what? Like,
can a woman even do that? Yes.
Yeah.
Women can be crazy. But then, so there is, like, she is suing, and I did see something about this. She is suing him for defamation. Sure. But here's the thing.
He never used her name. It's not the world's fault that they figured out who she was.
So I feel like there was language in the suit that said, like, he gave enough information that it wasn't difficult for people to find her, and that some of the things he's saying are false, like her having a felony record, like that wasn't true. Oh. And so I'm interested to follow up on it because I'm like, wait a minute, is the lady not crazy?
She's definitely crazy.
You could see it in her eyes. Mm-hmm. Like, she's unfortunately
definitely crazy.
Can we just pause and take a moment to look at how pretty it is behind us?
I love
this place is so beautiful.
Caleb did an amazing job on this building.
Yeah.
He worked very hard to, like, restore the things in this building, and it looks very good. 15 years this year. G6, the song G6 is 15 years old.
Like the Kesha song, Fly Like a G6, is how old?
15 years old.
No, that's wrong. We're not that old. That can't be true.
And
it's fake.
We've been out of high school for 16 years. Thanks
Darren,
for telling us that.
I didn't even realize it had been that long.
I know.
And he said 16 years, and I'm like, 16 years since I've seen him? And then I did the math in my head, and I was like, oh my God, how old am I?
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there, man.
I dislike it so much.
All right, Bianca, I think I'm ready to talk about the big one.
The big one? Yeah. All right. I think that's where we're going to end, is the big one.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So recently in Blue Springs, there was a report, or like a Facebook post, that a young woman had made in regards to a pastor who was then the president of her school board grooming her, essentially. And the story was, she was in a youth group, and they had officers. It kind of sounded like they had like a president, vice president type situation with this youth group. And like the officers were at this man's house.
It was like a leadership thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And the man's wife wasn't, like, they were in the basement with another man who was helping with
part
the
of
youth.
The church. Yeah.
And the wife was upstairs with the kids, like her baby or whatever. And this man, I don't remember if there was a blanket and they were under a blanket, but he like grabbed this girl's hand and like put it under his thigh multiple times.
And held her hand.
Yeah. And
during the movie.
Disgusting.
She like describes like some grooming behavior that, looking back, she kind of saw, like, that she was a lot younger than this youth group, but she was allowed to be even a leadership role in this youth group, and how, he would like
special opportunities.
And like date her and then tell her she shouldn't be dating. And it's just, I don't know. It was just a lot of
icky. Well, after these allegations came out, he was removed as the school board president, I believe.
So he's a school board president. He's the pastor of the church. He also like has a foundation or an organization, like a nonprofit that runs, it sounds like either like before or after school program. And he like, it's kind of attached to the church, but not attached to church. And he's got his hands in all of these different places that involve children.
Yeah.
And I think that because he's been the president, but then is trying to go up again. And I think she was like, it's time.
Yeah. And he's now, I think he's either stepped down or resigned. And then I'm pretty sure that the church has told him.
So he's resigned from school board president. And they unanimously voted that they agreed.
Yeah.
And then the church, I won't say the church's name, the church that he belongs to, put a statement out that they have suspended him pending an investigation of the accusations. And
she's not the only one. There's been more people that have come out with very similar stories.
Well, so I read it. I read her, because she has it kind of like on a blog. So I read it, and coming from somebody who has experience as a child, grooming, sexual abuse, that kind of stuff, reading her words and her account of those, I could tell. Like, it was like, how like you have discernment with things, and maybe some people don't know what that means, but your feelings and your body tell you this is right, this is wrong. Someone might be not good. I've come across people that I literally get a stomachache being around, and they've done nothing to me. In this moment, I was reading the words, and I was like, she is telling the truth.
Yeah.
She's 100% telling the truth. I can tell by the way she describes how she felt in that moment. It was so sad to read. And so many, I like instantly went to the comments. Like, what are people saying? Because I know that is hard.
Yeah.
When you put something like that out there. And people were so supportive of her. And then here comes
the more
women stepping up.
The dam is broken.
Other people, I think, were younger girls that had, also been in the youth group, but there were people that worked with him in the church that were adults and married and still struggled.
Yep.
And so that really sparked in local news, but then it even, I feel like, went national, which is crazy that, a pastor in Blue Springs, Missouri is making national news. But then this last week, I'm looking, and if you are, I feel like if you're a Christian and you, ever watch, listen, hear pastors speaking on TV, the radio, whatever, you know who T.D. Jakes is. And he has quit as a pastor because of shocking evidence that links him to Diddy's lawsuit. So
what?
Deals with pedophilia. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Another senior pastor of a huge mega church that has wrote books. I mean, when I say wrote books, people for years have been reading material and following. And his name is Robert Morris, and he stepped down. He said because of something inappropriate sexual behavior in his 20s with a young lady. The lady then came out and said, I was 12. I wasn't a lady. I was a child.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
A young lady.
Yeah.
Like, in what world did you think she was a lady?
Yeah. And there's another pastor. Gosh, I can't remember his name. I should have wrote it down. But he stepped down and said that it wasn't illegal, but it was something that he had done in his past. It was a sin. Now, he made it sound like it was a long time ago. So my guess is that someone is like, I'm going to come out with this information.
Yeah, they're trying to get ahead of it.
And the reason I kind of wanted to talk about this is because I feel like, as a Christian, I feel like it's really disappointing when these people, number one, sit behind religion.
Yep.
And use religion and God and the love of God to then abuse people.
Yep.
But I also think that people put way too much emphasis and power into a person. Like, yes, do I love my pastor? Absolutely. Would I do anything for him? I mean, like, if he called Zach and I and said, hey, I have a couch and, I mean, they're older. Can you come out? Of course, we would do that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I'm not following my pastor. Like
No.
that is not.
He is merely a vessel.
Yes. And I think we put way too much into
No, I get
people.
that. Yeah.
Like that's kind of like idolizing. And if you're a Christian, like that's not okay. We're not supposed to do that.
Yep.
So I know a lot of people in the Christian community are shook and sad and disappointed, but it's like, that's just a person. We're human. We're sinners. All of us. Just because they're a pastor, and I'm not saying that it's okay what they did. I'm just saying that like they're a person.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't change my whole trajectory of my faith.
Religion. Yeah. I mean, I feel like as a kid, if I were to see and hear these things, it would make me question like if the pastor, the person that is supposed to carry this kind of better, that they're supposed to be good. They're supposed to be, the vessel of the Lord, and they can be bad. It would make me question maybe other people in those types of figures, but maybe not.
You're taught we all fall. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying that being a pedophile or abusing women or whatever. I'm not saying that's just like, we all are like, but I'm not saying that.
It's not any different than if somebody who isn't a pastor were to commit that crime.
Yeah.
Like it's at the end of the day, they're a criminal.
Like, I just feel like it really made me think like, when I am listening to somebody or I'm reading a book that somebody wrote that, is like about God or about the Bible or whatever the message is, am I searching to have a better understanding of God and what his word says? Or am I excited because I like that person and I want to hear what they say? Because I think that is the problem.
What a huge question.
I think we are investing way too much into people. A person that is godly, and they're no different than us. They're a person. And God gives everybody different gifts. So I couldn't be a pastor. Like I couldn't stand up and
I feel like you could.
Church.
I feel like you could. What are you talking about?
I definitely couldn't. But like at the end of the day, if tomorrow my entire church is gone for some reason and my pastor has done something horrible, does that change anything? At the end of the day, no, not really.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't. But you're right. I think it does.
But I will say this. I like that for whatever reason, these people that are hiding behind religion to be abusive are getting called out, or they're being forced to step down from their positions.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Cute Catholic Church.
Yeah.
Scandals. And I think that you're right. I feel like in these types of situations, it's people following people who are telling about God as opposed to people following God who is coming through as a vessel,
obviously
reflection of
it makes it pretty clear in the Bible that fellowship is important.
Well, yeah.
It doesn't say you have to go to church to be a Christian or go to church to go to heaven. But it talks about, gathering and that fellowship and how that's important.
Well, and that's the definition of church in the Bible. Where two or more gather in my name, there I will be. You don't have to be a mega church to be, relevant.
But I think, I don't know, it just put it into perspective
that.
What is this trend of, watching people on TV and these mega churches and the lights and the glimmer? Are we losing track of what's actually important?
Yeah. The reason, it's kind of like Christmas.
Yeah.
It's remember the purpose, remember the reason. I think that's a good place for us to stop, because I'm going to think about that going forward this week. When you are listening, even to, a podcast about, self-help, are you listening because of the person that's talking, or are you listening because of the message that they're giving?
And the reason that I think it is important for that too is because we are human and we can stray in a million different ways. It
Nobody's
could be
exempt from that.
Health, mental health, religion, art, whatever. I think that we really have to be careful about like, are we putting our faith in humanity? Because we're human and
Yeah.
humans make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think there's a lot of people that are sad and disappointed right now, but I think that I'm hoping they will take the opportunity to be like, I have some room to grow here,
Yeah.
and to realize that, I need to really be connected to God and not a person
Who is telling me about God.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
I
loved this. It's definitely different, feeling like
it's weird
being watched.
Like, do I look at myself? Do I look at Hannah?
Yes.
I don't really want to be looking at myself like this.
And again, thank you to 1012 Maine.
Yeah.
We really liked sitting up here and enjoying our coffee, and
Hannah's is almost gone.
watching the sunrise this morning.
Nice.
That was cool.
Listening to the trucks screech at the stoplight that's right outside.
We'll be back next week.
Yes, with more hot takes for Hot Takes Summer.
Yeah, I'm hoping to do like more questions and like would you rather and scenario kind of things, just to kind of keep it interesting. So.
Yeah. I think with that, we will wrap things up. I'm Bianca.
And I'm Hannah.
And we are
Taking Back Sunday.
Love that. Somebody's mowing out there.
OMG. It's raining.
There's no way that they're actually mowing, right?
No, they are. It's raining.
Well, welcome to Lexington, where we mow in the rain. And I feel like we kind of have to stay where we are now if we're going to promote a business that's in this town. So we are in a beautiful place called Lexington.
I feel like most people already know. Yeah. So
our whole 50 followers are probably all from this area.